Lecture 1. Exploring Zhongjing, the author of Treatise on Febrile and Miscellaneous Diseases in the long river of history. The late Eastern Han Dynasty is undoubtedly one of the most turbulent yet legendary periods. Frequent wars and rampant natural disasters made the lives of the common people extremely miserable. However, it was precisely in such a harsh environment that the great master of medicine emerged, namely Zhongjing, the author of Treatise on Febrile and Miscellaneous Diseases. He lived in the same era as prominent figures such as Qiao Qiao, Liu Bei, and Hua Tuo, leaving a remarkable mark on the historical stage by verification of native place and deciphering of dialects. Zhongjing was from Yiyang County, Nanyan Prefecture in the Eastern Han Dynasty, and his hometown is located in present-day Dan County, Nanyan Prefecture, Hunan Province, in Zhangzhai Village, northwest of Dongling Town in Dan County. The North Gate remained well preserved until the late Qing Dynasty. The stone inscriptions of ancient Yiyang County on the city gate plaque serve as a powerful testament to the historical origin of this place, also convincingly proving that Zhangzhai Village is the location of the ancient Yiyang County, where Zhongjing was born. Exploring Zhongjing's native place is of vital significance for understanding his works. Due to regional cultural differences, his books inevitably carry strong dialect characteristics. Take Treatise on Febrile Diseases as an example. The words shong and biushong that frequently appear in the Mingkou, acceptable, and biuku, unacceptable, in the Honan dialect. But shongyuxi means biukuyuxi, which vividly reflects the local language style. Another example is the character ao. In modern times, it is generally understood as simmer slowly over a low fire. However, in descriptions such as ao badu, boil croton seeds, ao bai fenji xia, boil white powder until fragrant, and ao shimen hei, boil almonds until black, in Treatise on Febrile Diseases. It is difficult to make sense if we explain it with this meaning. Croton seeds cannot have their oil removed by simmering slowly over a low fire, and almonds cannot be simmered until black. White rice flour will only turn into a paste after being simmered, so how can it be simmered until fragrant? By referring to Fang Yan written by Yang Xiong in the Western Han Dynasty, we know that in the Han Dynasty, Hei, and Qiao had the same meaning, all referring to drying and cooking grains with fire, that is, the meaning of fry. As a native of southern Hunan, which belonged to the northern part of the state of Chu in ancient times, Zhongjing used the dialect of Chu. Therefore, ao in Treatise on Febrile Diseases actually means fry. With this clarification, the preparation methods of many prescriptions in the book become clear. Ao shimen hei means fry almonds until black. Ao badu chuyu means frying croton seeds to remove the oil. And ao bai fen xiang means frying white rice flour until fragrant, which is similar to the method of frying fragrant rice flour in the famous Beijing dish, steamed pork with rice flour. It can be seen that understanding Zhongjing's native place is the key to accurately interpreting the meanings of dialects in his works. Through personal traits and academic inheritance, Zhongjing not only had profound medical attainments, but also had a unique personal psychological quality. When he was young, he once consulted He Yong, a renowned psychologist at that time, about his future career direction. Through observation, He Yong evaluated him as using thoughts meticulously, but not being ostentatious in character, believing that he had a meticulous thinking and an introverted personality, making him an excellent candidate to become a great doctor. As it turned out, He Yong's judgment was very accurate, and Zhongjing's achievements in the medical field later fully confirmed this prediction. In terms of academic inheritance, Zhongjing studied under Zhang Bozu, his fellow townsman. Zhang Bozu was also a famous doctor in Nanyan. He was proficient in medical prescriptions and techniques, with accurate and cautious diagnosis and treatment. His superb medical skills were highly respected by people at that time. Zhongjing studied with an open mind and comprehensively inherited Zhang Bozu's academic experience and thoughts. He even surpassed his teacher in theoretical knowledge and practical skills. His contributions to Chinese medicine far exceeded those of his teacher, becoming a monument in the history of the development of traditional Chinese medicine. San, the historical evolution of the title of Sage of Medicine. The lofty title of Sage of Medicine did not exist since Zhongjing's era, but underwent a long historical evolution. In the Jin dynasty, Huang Fumi, in the preface to Zhongjing, classic of acupuncture and mouth Sebastian, called the Yin Yashen sub-sage, believing that Zhongjing's works were a supplement and expansion of the Yin's Zhongjing, classic of decoctions. At that time, Zhongjing was not called a sage. In the Tang dynasty, when Sun Simiao and Wai Miao, essential secrets from the imperial library, mentioned Zhongjing, they all directly called him by his name without conferring the title of sage on him. In the Song dynasty, when the National Bureau for Proofreading Medical Books proofread, engraved, and printed treatise on febrile diseases, the officials believed that Zhongjing only inherited the veil of the ancient sages and did not call him the sage of medicine. It was not until 1182, when Lu Wansu of the Jing dynasty stated in Suwen Xuanji Yuan Bingshi, explanation of the mysteries of the basic questions on the causes of diseases, that Zhongjing is a sub-sage of medicine. Did Zhongjing first have a connection with the term sage? But he was still not directly called the sage of medicine. In 1526 of the Ming dynasty, the Yan referred to him as a sub-sage in the medical field. It was not until 1589, when Feng Yuji stated in Treatise on Febrile Diseases, a critical analysis that Zhongjing is a sage, that medical scholars gradually began to widely call Zhongjing sage in their works. The discovery of the tombstone of Feng Zhongjing, the sage of medicine and prefect of Changsha in the Han dynasty in 1632 is quite legendary. Feng Yigao of the Ming dynasty suffered from a serious illness. In a dream, he was cured by Zhongjing and was entrusted to protect his tomb. A few years later, he indeed found the tombstone being excavated in the east of Nanyang city. However, combined with historical research, this tombstone was most likely erected at the end of the Ming dynasty, and the so-called supernatural story might have been fabricated by later generations. The style of the tombstone imitates that of the Jing and southern and northern dynasties, and the inscription Xian 5th year on the pedestal might be that later generations used an ancient pedestal, which also reflects that when later generations commemorate the ancients, they often imitate the styles of the eras in which the ancients lived. In addition, since the Song dynasty quoted Gang Bozang's statement in the Tang dynasty that Zhongjing was recommended as Xiuyan, a kind of official selection system, and became the prefect of Changsha, the term Changsha has gradually become a substitute for Zhongjing and his works. Many medical works such as 10 Matters of Using Medicines in Changsha in the Yuan dynasty, explanation of works related to Changsha in the Qing dynasty, collection of song lyrics of prescriptions in Changsha in the Qing dynasty, and symptom analysis related to Changsha in Japan all use Changsha to refer to Zhongjing and his